is Joe Picciotto calling you from Washington, D.C. area, and we're going to talk today to Kris, who is in sunny Las Vegas. So Kris, how are you doing out there?
Everything's great. It was a bit cloudy earlier this morning, but I'm starting to see the sun come out, and you can probably see the background in this area a lot brighter than before, so definitely it's going back to normal.
Okay, so this is like 1 of 2 days maybe that you haven't had any sun, right?
Yeah, 1 of 2 days. Anything longer than 2 days and something's wrong, you know?
Right. Okay, listen, I'm glad we hooked up here today. Tell me a little bit about what you want to talk about.
Yeah, definitely what I wanted to talk about are, 3 traits of highly successful people. I mean, we can talk about endless number of characteristics that comprise a successful individual, but I want to focus on just 3 of them today and encourage our network marketing audience or other entrepreneurs out there to practice these habits and incorporate them into their daily lives.
Okay. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what these 3 traits are, and these are just building blocks, right? There's actually more than 3 traits, but these are 3 that struck you.
Right, these are the 3 that struck me, and these are the 3 that stood out when I was talking and interviewing a number of successful individuals out there. And this is what actually kept them for the long term, because I know we can have that strong desire and whatnot, but you need these three traits that will carry them for the long term. And yeah, I'll go into them in more detail. The first trait that I've noticed, or the first habit that I've noticed that successful people have, is that they are action-oriented, and they're decisive. They're the types of people that won't sit around in their chairs and say, oh, I wish I was more successful, I wish I had more money, I wish I had this. They actually go out and take action. They also come up with ideas, and they're not one of those, because sometimes you have people out there that have brilliant ideas. I think we should do this, I think we should do that, I think this is going to change the world, but at the end of the day they don't do anything about it. They just let the idea fade somewhere into the ether, and then they find out that someone else took their idea and ended up becoming a self-made millionaire. So I'm pretty sure you've heard of those stories out there. But then those who are successful, they say, I have a brilliant idea, this is the plan, I'm going to do it, and I'm just going to take action and just go for it, and not sit on my chair the whole day and just daydream about this idea until somebody else ends up taking it. So that's the first habit that they have, is that they're decisive and they take action. And that actually leads on to the next habit that I want to talk about, and that is they never allow failure as an option, or in other words, they never allow fear of failure prevent them from taking action on anything. Now, I know that there's a lot of risk that's involved out there in starting an entrepreneurial venture or starting something new. But with successful people is that they don't let fear hold them back. They don't let fear paralyze them from going into unknown territory. But what they do is they take calculated risks. And what I mean by calculated risks is they understand, the pros and the cons of getting into any entrepreneurial venture. And they've studied it. They studied successful entrepreneurs who were very successful in that venture, and they learned from their mistakes and how to avoid making those same mistakes. So, that's something that they do, is they overcome this fear of failure, and then they're able to take action, which I mentioned as the first habit of highly successful people. So the third habit that I want to incorporate that then leads the person to long-term success is that they are persistent. They never give up at all. It doesn't matter how difficult the task is. It doesn't matter how many ups and downs there are in the whole business cycle. It doesn't matter if someone tells them they can't do it or they're not going to succeed in whatever venture they go to. They persist. They never give up. They just tell themselves, I don't care how hard this situation is. I don't care how hard this task is. I'm just going to continue on, and I'm not going to give up. And if they come across a couple of roadblocks, and if they feel that something is not going according to plan, then obviously they make adjustments and they find out what's going wrong, what's going right, and they make sure that they continue taking action on that. So again, by incorporating these 3 habits, they all relate to one another. One is they make the decision to take action. They don't sit around on any ideas, but they just go for it. Second, they never allow fear of failure to prevent them from moving forward with their projects. And the final thing is that they're persistent and they never give up. So again, by incorporating these 3 disciplines into your life, you can definitely accomplish any goal that you set forward.
Wow, that was incredible. You did such a great job explaining each of those three habits. and I think an important word there is habits. If people can get into a habit of taking on these three great habits that you just described here, they can really be successful. I think that the persistence is really important, okay, because you never want to give up, okay. There's always a way to get around or to succeed. Or by getting a mentor if you need one. If you're stuck with your computer, there's always somebody that you can call on for help. If you're looking for suggestions on how to be successful in a certain area, there's always somebody that can help you out. But being persistent and not listening to other people is really important, because you've got a lot of negative people around. You've got to get rid of the negative people in your life.
Exactly.
And, I mean, get rid of them, but I mean, what you need to do is, one person is, you're going to join a multi-level marketing company or something like that, or a network company, and your friends and family, they're going to be the first ones that are probably going to poo-poo you and say, oh yeah, there he goes again. He's probably not going to be successful at this. I'll wait and see what happens. You can't listen to those people. You need to just do what you want to do. If that's your goal, if that's something that you really want to do, and go and do it, just like you're talking about. And one other thing I liked what you said was about making adjustments. If one thing doesn't work for you one way, try another way, and that's another great way to move ahead. Of course, fear is one of those things that when we start to doubt ourselves, it's sort of we're holding ourselves back. So if you take on the attitude first that failure is not an option, then that sort of does away with fear. I mean, if you're saying I'm going to charge ahead, for example, a person who needs to make some money, in a company, from your family, failure is not an option. If you have a health condition or something like that, failure is not an option, and you can't let any obstacles get in your way.
Exactly.
You did a fantastic job, Kris. I think describing all of these.
Wow, thank you.
Is there anything else that you want to add to anything that you mentioned?